thank you for the suggestion of the meeting. Okay, you came up with the idea, a great idea. I think we have done it justice in the last 2 weeks. Okay. Everybody's story is different, but everybody's story has commonality in it. Okay. I started in 1978. Well, I didn't start in 1978. I graduated from Virginia Tech, Bachelor of Architecture. And I graduated in a recession. There were no jobs to be had. So finally was able to find a position in Beckley, West Virginia. So we moved there. I've been married in 77, the year before. About 1980, I started getting interested in real estate. I don't know if it was an Ed Begley infomercial or if it was a Carlton Sheets infomercial, but something sparked my interest. And I went to this building in Beckley, had public library on it. Okay? And I checked out every book that they had on real estate. And most of them, of course, were 10, 15 years old, but they were still interesting. So I was like, okay, what's current? And back then, my sources of information were John Schaub, Strategies and Solutions, which was monthly. This is November '93. And then a gentleman called Marco Harrelson from Utah who published this Financial Freedom Report, and it also was a monthly. They would come in and I would devour them, read them from front to end. This is 1980. This is 1980. The interest was there. We actually went and looked at a triplex, a duplex, but never really were able to commit to buying anything. So, words of wisdom I want to share with you are, number one, real estate is the last place in this country where the average person can become wealthy. Unless you invent something like this. Everybody has one of these. 20 years ago, none of you guys had these. Okay? 20 years is a short lifetime. Now everybody carries a computer in your hand. Okay? We pay for these. Somebody's making a profit off of this. So unless you invent something, you're not going to get wealthy. The other place you get wealthy is by having what is known as a consumable. McDonald's. You go to McDonald's, you pay $6, you get your Big Mac. You consume your Big Mac and you're like, oh, good, okay. Tomorrow you want another Big Mac. Well, you're going to have to fork over another $6. Okay? And if you think about it, real estate's the same way. We provide a consumable. You rent our house, you pay us money. Next month, you want to rent our house again, you need to pay us more money. Okay. And that is one of the secrets to wealth. In 1983, after 5 long years, I was able to get out of West Virginia. Took a while. And I went to work for a company no longer around called KBI Medical. We designed laboratories, parts of hospitals, the VA Center in Salem, I designed part of that. American Red Cross downtown, I designed part of that. Lewis Gale designed a bunch of places in that. We were specialized architects. In 1984, my first daughter was born. So I still had this dream of, okay, I got to have real estate. I've got to do this to go forward. So in October of 1985, we formed a partnership, a best friend and I, and he had a friend that also wanted to be in real estate. And we bought this little 3-bedroom, 1-bath house on Tennessee Avenue for $24,000. We put 10% down. Payments were $295 a month, PITI. Rent for that neighborhood, for that house, is $300 a month. We made $5. My partner's quarter looked at me and they were not impressed. Okay? So, guys, with time and with repetition, this is going to be something. Okay? That family, from 1985, stayed until 2015. They paid off the entire mortgage. They never called. They never complained. The husband left. They had 2 daughters. She raised both daughters. They both graduated high school. They both graduated college. They had children. She had grandchildren. She finally left because her father was dying in Arizona and she needed to be with him. So she left the house. Which leads to words of wisdom number 2. Starting with a partner is okay. You don't have to do this yourself. You need to overcome the fear. Because I had tremendous fears. In 1980 I was interested. In 1983 I was enrolled. It wasn't until 1985 that I actually did something about it. Okay? And that first one, for a lot of you people in this room, I know your stories and I know your trepidations. That first step is the hardest part, getting over that. Okay? 1 is hard, 2 is less hard, 3 is easy. By the time you get to number 12, it's like getting out of bed in the morning. Is that hard? No, but in our age it's hard.
Our age it is.
Which leads to words of wisdom number 3. Pull the trigger. Act. Do something. Studying is great. Getting information is necessary. You do have to know about real estate, okay? But you need the action. Got a great quote here for you. You have got to jump off the cliff and build your wings on the way down. That was Ray Bradbury. A couple of months later, in February of 1986, I bought a duplex on Marshall. I'd done all this studying about all this financing, and I got it for 100% financing. I assumed the first mortgage. Wooding took back the second. And I was like, great. I am a real estate investor. I have all this knowledge. I just bought a property, 100% financing, put none of my own money into it. I quickly realized that even though they were investors, they really were don't wanters. There was a guy upstairs in the duplex who was a pain in the butt. There was a lady downstairs who was retired, and all they did was call and complain. Okay. This is an old house on Marshall. I paid water, I paid for the heat. And I would drive by sometimes in February, 15 degrees outside, we bundled down in my truck getting there. Downstairs, all the windows were closed. Upstairs, all the windows were open. And I was paying the heat. Okay. That was work. The same month, I bought my first VA foreclosure on Forest Hill. It was a 4-bedroom, 1-bath. I rented it to a family with kids, and again, no problem renting them out and taking care of the property.
Did you assume the VA loan at that point?
No. Well, I'll get to those. Set a goal. When you're starting out, decide what you're going to do, what you want to achieve. Your goals will change over time, but you got to get that first one. My first goal was, in 1985, was I had a daughter, and I was damn sure going to make sure she went to college. So I had 18 years to get this house to a position where I could sell it and take the profit and put her to college. That never happened. 18 years later, by the time she went to college, it was totally paid for with cash flow. Okay. My second goal later on was to have 50 properties. Again, the first goal was achieved, second goal going forward. Okay. And you write them down so that you can see them on a piece of paper and look at them and remind yourself that you set this goal. Yogi Berra said, if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up someplace else. Right? In the rest of 1986, I bought 2 more houses, 2 more VA houses, and another duplex. Again, 100% financed. I found them easy to buy. So I bought 5 that year. VA program. Awesome program when it was here. Veterans Administration would have property that they had loaned the money to a VA veteran, uses his benefits, took it back through foreclosure. They sold those houses for $500 down. They financed the balance at the current mortgage rate for 30 years. Now, the current mortgage rate was 11%. Okay. But we bought steadily. In 1992, we bought another 5. We bought a total of 20 with the partnership. And then I bought another 11 by myself. So we had 31 single-family homes just from the VA program. And along the line, we had we bought other properties. So, number 5, choose a niche and a neighborhood and be the best at it. In the 80s and the 90s, I was Mr. VA foreclosure. I knew more about that program. I know who to call. I know how to do it. I know how to do the paperwork. Okay? And I bought everything basically, well, almost everything that came out. Okay? Anybody a question on VA foreclosure, they came to me. The areas, my neighborhoods, were Round Hill, between Williamson Road, 581, and Hirschberger down to 10th Street. That area in there, a wonderful area.
Still is.
Wilmont Farms, okay, over on the other side of town. Not Cherry Hill. Not a big fan of Cherry Hill, but Wilmont Farms. Know everything about Wilmont Farms. And Old Southwest.
Wasn't my fault.
Wasn't your fault, wasn't my fault.
What about Washington Heights?
We don't have anything in Washington
Well, your
Heights.
first one, Tennessee is there.
Oh, is it? Okay. I didn't know that was Washington Heights. So in 1988, we bought another duplex and an apartment building. Again, 100% financing. So there's the lure of, okay, I don't have to put any money down, so I have all this financing, the rents all cover this financing, so this will be a good deal. But what I realized, it took a little while, I'm slow sometimes, that there is a difference, and I've tried to explain that to people here many times. There is a difference between someone who rents an apartment and someone who rents a house. And I was spending 80% of my time on about 20% of my properties. The houses were going smoothly, duplexes, the apartment building, I was getting calls on, having to send people out for service requests. I mean, the worst thing I ever had is in the apartment building, I had a guy upstairs who had a cat. We allowed him to have a cat. He was too lazy to empty the cat box into the trash and take it out. So I decided to put it in the toilet and flush it down.
Oh.
The problem was it was clumping cat litter, which means it came down the stack pipe, hit the elbow, solid as a bunch of concrete. Words of wisdom number 6. This is the important reason of why we do what we do. There are 4 sources of income. Cash flow. Every property I've ever bought started out with a positive cash flow and has only gotten better and better and better over time. Number 2, amortization. Rent comes in, mortgage get paid out. Of that mortgage that you're paying for with your tenant's money, a portion of that is yours. Your loan is decreasing. Depreciation. The United States government wants you to own rental property. So therefore, they have these laws that allow you to depreciate an asset. $50,000, take away the land, okay, we get to depreciate it. When I started out, it was 19 and a half years, accelerated. First year we got 5% or 7% or even 9%. Okay, I can't really remember, but we took a tremendous percentage of the first year. Then they got smart and got rid of that. Now we're 27 and a half years, but we're still depreciating the property. If you bought a house for $50,000 20 years ago, has it depreciated down to 30? Is it only worth 25 now? No, that $50,000 house is now a $100,000 house. But the government allows you to, protect your money from that. Which leads us to the 4th point, which is appreciation. With time, everything gets more valuable. A gallon of milk you bought 20 years ago was under $1. The gallon of milk you're buying today, you'd be lucky if it's under $3. Okay? But houses appreciated to keep up with it. So in 1997, so I've been 85, 97, 12 years. I made a loan apartment, but they really were worthless at this point. In the beginning, they would come out and paint and do a little plumbing, and they were horrible painters. But it was camaraderie. I used their credit because it was important. But finally, I said, okay, enough is enough. I'm doing all the work. Why should I only get 1/3 of the benefit? So I went out and went solo, started buying for myself. Number 7, build a team. You will not be able to do this alone. Don't try to do this alone. First thing you're going to need is a good attorney. Somebody who has your ass protected. Okay? Somebody who knows real estate, somebody who knows to make sure that you're getting a clear title. If you're looking to buy a house where the people have died and they haven't gotten a clear title, who can go through the process and get you a clear title. Okay? Second person you need, real estate agent. Somebody who's in your corner. Somebody who you can call and say, hey, look, I'm looking at this house, can you give me the comps? When I buy, I'm going to buy through you. When I sell, I'm going to sell through you. Okay? And you build those relationships. An accountant, somebody's got to do the books. Handyman, doesn't have to be great. Somebody can fix a toilet, somebody can do some plumbing, somebody can do electrical, somebody can fix a roof leak. Okay? And then you have to have access to specialty people. An electrician if it needs to be rewired. Okay? A plumber if you have a major plumbing problem. HVAC guy if you need a unit. And how do you get these people? And how do you keep these people? You pay them early. You contract to get the job done. You agree on a price of $4,500. They do the work. They say, it's great. Here's your check, $4,500. Don't say bill me and I'll get to you in 30 days. You pay them then. Now in their mind, they know the next time you call, you will pay once the job is done. In 1994, my architectural firm downsized. Bad management. Again, Architecture is a profession that leads bad economic times. We will know when bad times are coming long before anybody else will, because our projects start shutting down. Okay. We're the last to come out of a recession. Yes.
Is that happening right now?
Actually, they're doing very good right now, because they're still coming from the last wave. There's so few people doing things that they are very busy. In '94, what happened is we had a new governor, Governor Wilder. Okay, he campaigned on the fact that he was going to build highways. He was going to improve all the roads in the state of Virginia. What he really meant was Northern Virginia and the Norfolk Tidewater area, not us here in, in the back area. Well, how in the world is he going to pay for all these roads without raising taxes? Giant pool of money. So Governor Wilder took all the money that was in the literary fund, which is supposed to be for designing, renovating, and upkeeping our schools, and put it in the transportation fund. We were a firm that specialized in schools. Down at Virginia Tech, the Squires Edition, Pamphlet Hall Edition, Chemistry Building Edition, those were all projects that I helped work on. Okay? We were no longer allowed to do any work. We went from 105 people down to 25. Because we were so focused. If you're only focused on one little thing, and that one little thing goes wrong, okay, your business is going to go wrong. Like Mike said, diversify. So I went to business for myself, and I got contracts to do design work for the state, because I knew everybody in the state. And I did education design, and I also had a friend who owned a restaurant, so I did restaurant design. For those that don't know, every McAdoo's you've ever been in is my design, okay, because I did it all. Okay. At this time, or in between this time, I realized that I was not going to be wealthy working for somebody else, and I was not going to be wealthy by being an employee or even working for myself, and that's why real estate was going to be important. In 2004, I realized I've been doing this for a while, so I'm slow to this portion of the game. A real estate agent called me, and again, I had a good relationship with her. She said, hey, I've got this lady who has a house in Salem. She can't sell it. I said, okay, why can't she sell it? Well, there's mold in the basement. The house is empty. The kitchen is leaking down into the downstairs bathroom. Mold has grown all over the drywall. Nobody wants to buy this house. Can you repair it for her? I said, yes, I can. I'll give you some ridiculous number. I really didn't want to do it. I told her $5,000. You leave me alone. She called back and said, she wants you to do it. I said, okay. How am I going to get paid? Well, she'll pay you when the house closes. I said, that doesn't really work real well. She lived out of town. I think she had gotten this in a divorce settlement. So she said, we go on the phone talking about it. She said, would you like to buy the house? I'm like, okay, I already have a rental in Salem. It does very well. Maybe I should. So we agreed on a price of $100,000, minus the $5,000 for the repair, so $95,000. Cleaned it up. The kitchen didn't have a dishwasher. To me, that's a bad sign. But it had a little 18-inch cabinet next to the sink. We took out the 18-inch cabinet and put in an 18-inch dishwasher. Y'all know they made an 18-inch dishwasher?
No, they still sell them.
They still sell them. 2 months later, that house sold for $145,000. I made $40,000 about 3 months away. And I was like, damn. Why didn't I know this before? Education. I said, this is a great vehicle to get money to use to buy rentals, because that's where the wealth is. Not to make money to live off of. But remember, I am working at a regular job during all of this. Okay? I'm working 40, 50 hours a week. Plus, when I went into my business for myself, I was working 50, 60 hours a week. Okay? So I've used this technique with others and helped them. In 2006, I had a senior in Radford, I had a freshman at AMU, 2 college educations. My wife decided this is a really good time to get a master's in nursing. So I had 3 college educations to pay for, and they were all paid for by cash flow. That's the importance of having checks every month from renters. Where's the wisdom number 8? Flip houses as a way to generate cash to buy a rental. In 2009, we had a breakfast meeting with Tim Hogan, who's not here, Dallas, Spanky, and Dan, who we really don't care about, Dennis and Amanda, Jerry, I don't know if you were there or not. And they said, we have a breakfast meeting, we want to do this as an evening meeting. And thus formed REI of Virginia. And we met every Tuesday to start off at Mexican place and another place and another place. 2018, 9 years later, I'd been I worked my way into being in charge of programming. And they gave me the title of president. I said, I want to be president. All I want to do is get to speak. I'd had enough of Dallas's and Dan's and Spanky's attitude and how rude they were to the speakers that I brought in, how confrontational they were. And all they really wanted to do was sue the city of Roanoke, sue the water department, and really not educate the people that were there to try to learn about real estate. So I formed this group, Roanoke Real Estate Education Group. I said, guys, forming a new group. Those that are interested, come with me. The other groups staying here, you can still come to them. And I moved it to a different day so that we wouldn't conflict. Okay? Within 3 months, nobody was going to their group anymore, and they folded. Which showed you how important the group is from an education standpoint. Number 9, join a group that educates. Find mentors to learn from and like-minded people to spend time with. The best meetings are not the meetings where we up here talk to you, but afterward where you talk amongst yourselves. Okay? They're to guide you, to help you, and invest with you. And then the final one, this is, again, after, not a lifetime, but a lot of years, I've come to realize that this is very important, and you should know this. You are not in the real estate business. You are in the people business. You are creating someplace or providing someplace for people to live, raise their kids, and grow old. Some of them cannot and will never be able to buy a house. They don't have the money, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the inclination. So be there to provide for them a really fantastic place. I used to say to the other group, I said, there's 100,000 people in the Roanoke Valley. I need 45 good ones to rent from me. You guys can have the rest. Okay. And that's really what it is. You get the best people to rent from you. They will pay their rent on time, and they will be there a long time. Question? We have never sold a house. We have gotten rid of all but one of the duplexes, and we got rid of the apartment. And we took the money, when we started out, $500 in closing costs and repair costs, okay? When you buy $5 in a year, that's a little bit of money. Partners will put up some money, but everything we got from the rentals, all the profits, remember, every house was profitable, goes right back into it. When we sold the duplexes, the money went right back into paying something off. And we would pay down and off. We refinanced with 12% loans. We had one time a big loan through Wachovia. No, it wasn't Wachovia. It was what was it? The bank before Dominion, and then it was
First Union. It was that First National Exchange, Dominion, First Union, then Wachovia, and then Wells.
okay, because it was Wachovia. We went in and we got a 1% below prime loan. Well, we had connections, okay? And that, we paid off 8 houses, and that formed our first LLC. That's how we did that. So we had these free and clear houses, put one big note on them, that's been paid off. When we sold the apartment building a couple years ago, we took all that money, we paid off everything else. So we're now totally free and clear. And we are basically VA houses, houses we bought at auction, and Plan B houses. Y'all know what a Plan B house is?
No.
Didn't say.
When I buy a house to flip, Plan A. Sometimes it doesn't go so well. So you gotta go to Plan B. I bought a house on Rolling Hill. Beautiful house. Split level. We did a wonderful job. Got it all done. Called Valerie in there, said, okay, what want to list it for?
Is that the one I rang your bid up?
No.
Okay.
So she said, you realize that this house is in the flood zone? Oh, no. Really? Which means the person I'm gonna sell it to is gonna have to get flood insurance. I don't need flood insurance. The flood of '85 came up to the property, but I don't need flood insurance, but the new person for their mortgage is gonna be. So therefore, their mortgage, they're gonna have to add $150 a month. So I couldn't sell it. So that became a rental, that's a Plan B. Okay. The other one was the one on Sherwood in the Grand Court area. I bought that at an auction, and that's when I went in, knocked on the door and said, okay, I'm your new landlord, get out. And they said, no, we're Oxford House, we don't have to get out. So I said, okay, well, I'll see you in court. Went to court, and basically I could have kicked them out, but the judge was, you realize that Oxford House is a very good program, and you really should continue renting to them. So I said, okay, we'll continue renting, and it has been very good. Oxford House is a step-down unit for, mine is women, there's men and there's women houses, step-down units from getting back adjusted to society. So those are my Plan B houses, but the rest were foreclosure. Yeah, David and I not knowing each other, which is funny because David's wife and my wife knew each other because we both had little young ones that swam. Okay? And we would go to all swim meets. My wife would time and I'd be doing all the stuff that they do. She'd be doing all that stuff. Did you swim?
No.
She didn't swim, okay. So, so we kind of knew each other, but we didn't know each other, okay? And then property would become available, and I'd bid on it, and these were the auction.com houses. I got a bunch of those, and I lost a couple of those. And I'd be bidding on it. Damn, son of a bitch, somebody went $2,000 higher. Okay, I'll go $2,000 higher. Run up the price. Found out later he's bidding against me. So, one on Stonewall, you got that one. I did not pursue beyond a certain point.
I think I bid on that too.
Any other questions?
Were you working with Jim Cornette?
No.
Never?